All right, I'm going to go over the proof that we did as a bonus in class on Tuesday. A good suggestion is to maybe try to do this proof and then refer to this video as a reference, especially if you didn't get it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare that I'm doing a proof, and I'm going to pick a side. I'm going to pick the left side. All right. And I'm trying to make it equal to cosecant squared x. So always keep our eye on the prize, make sure we know what we're trying to get. And so if I look at this left side, it's like, so what can I do here? Well, I could certainly change everything into cosine and sine. I could do that. But I do recognize that cosecant squared x minus 1 is an identity. It's actually equal to cotangent squared of x. Okay, so remember and this is done off to the side here, this Pythagorean identity. If I divide everything by sine squared x, I get this. And if I subtract 1 from both sides, I get that. So what I can see is that cosecant squared x minus 1 is equal to cotangent squared x. So I'm going to make that substitution just because I think it's going to be simpler. All right, so I've got this. Now it's a matter of what to do next. I could change everything to sine and cosine. I could find a common denominator. I could do lots of things. So let's try a common denominator. Okay, I don't know what it's going to do at this point, but don't know what to do. Let's do something. My other option is to change everything sine, cosine, see what happens. But I'm going to try a common denominator right now. So the common denominator is 1 plus cosine of x times cosine of x. So this fraction here, I need to multiply by cosine x over cosine x. So this is cosine x. And this fraction here, I need to multiply 1 plus cosine x over 1 plus cosine of x. So that gives me cotangent squared of x times 1 plus cosine of x. All right? So let's see what this does. Probably going to distribute here. I'm going to change colors so it's easier to tell what I'm doing. Cosine of x plus, I'll do cotangent squared of x plus cotangent squared of x times cosine of x all over what we have here. All right, so looking at this, what should we do? At this point, I think we're probably going to change everything to sine and cosine. So I'm going to change those cosine squared x's. See what happens. Trying to get, so this is cosine squared x over sine squared x plus cosine cubed x. Because I've got cosine squared over sine squared x. That's interesting. Over 1 plus cosine of x times cosine of x. All right, what should we do next? Well, I should have noticed this earlier, but I noticed that there's a cosine of x in every term right here. So why don't we factor that out? Because I see a cosine of x down there. Then we're going to be able to cancel that out. All right, so I'm going to factor out that cosine of x in the numerator. Okay, I'm going to get 1 plus cosine of x over sine squared of x plus cosine squared x over sine squared x. Okay, and then I've got 1 plus cosine of x times cosine of x. All right, so the cosine of x is cancel. All right, and what should we do next? Well, I'm looking at the numerator, and I'm seeing sine squared x, but no sine squared x there. So let's find a common denominator on the top in the numerator and see what happens. So I've got cosine of x is here, gone. So I'm going to change this to sine squared x over sine squared x. We have sine squared x plus cosine of x plus cosine squared of x all over sine squared of x all over 1 plus cosine of x. Okay, now this is nice because I'm seeing this is 1. All right, so, and I'm actually going to bring this down. So I've got 1 plus cosine of x over sine squared x times 1 plus cosine of x. Okay, so make sure you understand what I did there. Because this whole fraction is divided by this, I just brought this sine squared x. These are equivalent. Okay, now I can see what's going to happen next. The 1 plus cosines of x divide out, and I'm left with 1 over sine squared x, which is cosecant squared x. So we proved it. Wow.